Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Krishnaya Vasu Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanitraya, Namaste Pankajangriye. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter number 22. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So, Vamandev asked Bali Maharaj, where should I put my third step? He was embarrassed, he was humiliated in front of all his audience, his entourage, his kingdom. But he never said anything wrong to Vamandev. Was grateful in all circumstances, were happy, joyful, accepting that as Krishna's plan, accepting that as real mercy of the Lord. So he said, the Lord, you put your feet on my head. So let's see what happens further. Text number 6 and 7. Yasmin viranu bandhanena vyudena vidbodhetaraha bhavo lebhire siddhim yam u haikanta yoginaha tenaham nigrito asmi bhavata bhuri karmana badhascha varunai pashir nati vridena cha vyathe. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Many demons who were continuously inimical toward you finally achieved the perfection of great mystic yogis. Your Lordship can perform one work to serve many purposes, and consequently, although you have punished me in many ways, I do not feel ashamed of having been arrested by the ropes of Varuna, nor do I feel aggrieved. Purport: Bali Maharaj appreciated the Lord's mercy, not only upon him but upon many other demons. Because this mercy is liberally distributed, the Supreme Lord is called All Merciful. Bali Maharaj was indeed a fully surrendered devotee, but even some demons who were not at all devotees, but merely enemies of the Supreme Lord, attained the same exalted position achieved by many, many mystic yogis. Thus, Bali Maharaj could understand that the Lord had some hidden purpose in punishing him. Consequently, he was neither unhappy nor ashamed because of the awkward position in which he had been put by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much again for joining. Very, very nice verse. And it's what a coincidence. I was just hearing before this class a small clipping of a wonderful Vaishnava. He was mentioning in this material world, why do people control other people? Like a puppeteer controls the puppet. Why? Anyone would like to answer? Why the puppeteer controls the puppet or does a puppet show?
To earn money.
Yeah, to earn money for his selfish some profit, right? Why the boss controls the employee? For his selfish agendas, right? So in all relationships, one controls the other because there is some agenda, some selfish agenda behind it. Except for, Prabhupada has mentioned that the mother's love is compared to a true love, some tinge, or like not like full blown, but there is some tinge there. So the mother may sometimes control the baby. They don't go in the fire, right? The mother may sometimes even tie, like Mata Yashoda tied Krishna. Sometimes the mother may, tie in like a high chair or something, or bind in the cot or something. For whom? For the mother's benefit, for some selfish agenda, or for the child's benefit? For the child's benefit, right? The mother does not have a selfish agenda there. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains that when the Supreme Lord controls the jiva, in this case, he bound Bali Maharaj by the Varuna Pasha, was not for his benefit, but for the benefit of the devotee. It's a very, very important and nice lesson here, that even if the Lord, puts some so-called setbacks, which we may perceive a pure soul like Bali Maharaj didn't think as a setback. He was grateful. He thought, oh wow, it's mercy, not only on me, on everyone else also. Because big yogis have to do so much tapasya to get, to the higher destination. But these demons are just Krishna's, look at this mercy. By killing only, he's liberating them. Causeless mercy. He's so merciful. And to a person like Bali Maharaj, actually, he became his servant. We'll see that later. So the point here is that when the Lord does something, uh, it is like a mother guarding the child, protecting the child. Mother's true selfless love, the Lord's true selfless love for the child, for his devotee. So only who has a consciousness like Bali Maharaj can understand that. So we can at least try that whatever arrangements Lord makes in our life, we be happy and gratefully accept it, because the Lord has made those for our benefit. Easier said than done, but that's the lesson. Okay, someone who hasn't got a chance to read wants to read. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji, you want to read text 8?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and all devotees. Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. Text 8. Pitamahomi bhavadya samata prahrada avishkrita sadhuvadaha bhavad vipakshena vichitra vaishasham samprapatyastvam praham swapitra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. My grandfather, Prahlad Maharaja, is famous, being recognized by all your devotees. Although harassed in many ways by his father, Hiranyakashipu, he still remained faithful, taking shelter at your lotus feet. Purport. A pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, although harassed circumstantly in many ways, never gives up the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to take shelter of anyone else. A pure devotee never complains against the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A vivid example is Prahlad Maharaja. Examining the life of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see how severely he was harassed by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. Yet he did not divert his attention from the Lord even to the smallest extent. Bali Maharaj, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, remained fixed in his devotion to the Lord, despite the Lord having punished him. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, do you want to share any comments?
Okay, Prabhuji. So, Prabhupada is telling here they're given Prahlad Maharaj as an example that we know we finished in Canto 7. We know how much he was harassed by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. But throughout the Canto 7, we can see that even though so much of troubles that Prahlad Maharaj underwent, he not even a little bit, he diverted his attention or his love towards God. So I don't know, in our life, if we face little bit trouble also, we get the question, why is God doing this to me? I'm a sincere devotee, by why God is doing this to me? But when we compare what Prahlad Maharaj underwent, we can't even consider what we are experiencing. But Prahlad Maharaj, he never left his faithful in God, his faithfulness in God. And here we are having his own grandson. Bali Maharaj is an next example, that even though when Lord punished him by arresting him, he was surrendering to God. So in both the cases, even what do you say? Even when Lord is, we don't say it's a punishment, but even though we see that the end was little bit like arresting Bali Maharaj, but still he is having faith in God and is surrendering to God. So the purport is very good, Prabhuji, and so much to learn. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. Really wonderful comments. The pure devotee never complains against the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a deep point to meditate, as it is from the purport. So we have two choices, right? If we kind of analyze anything like happens to us which we may not want, right? We can either complain about it or be happy about it, right? There are only two options, and not much options there. Will complaining change the situation? Will blaming, complaining, oh, it's because I'm suffering because of him or her, or because of Lord, or because of some politics, or because of some my neighbor, etc. It will not change. But if we become equipoised in that situation and become happy and grateful, then we become a recipient of the Lord's mercy, like how Bali Maharaj will be. So life is 90% we make it. Sorry, life is 10% what we make it, and 90% how we take it. How we react to situations. How Prahlad Maharaj reacted to the situation and how Hiranyakashipu reacted to the situation, totally opposite. So many torturous situations. This Nrsimha's appearance is coming very soon. There was no kind of method which Hiranyakashipu had not used to torture his own son, not a stranger. The problems were not coming from a stranger or from someone from some nature or something. His own father was creating so much havoc for him. But he never for a moment said, why Lord, why you are doing this to me? I'm your devotee, I'm chanting your names. Why you are doing this to me? Vrindavan Vasis never complained to Krishna. Krishna, see, you told us to worship Govardhan Hill. We were, nicely worshipping Indra. See what Indra has done. They never complained. They had firm faith in Krishna. Krishna will do the best. So that's the test. Adversity tests the greatness. The greatness of a person is tested in challenging situations. It's certainly a very challenging situation for our Bali Maharaj, isn't it? But how is he reacting? Becoming a rightful recipient of the Lord's mercy. Okay, let's see what happens further. Yes, Nandini Mataji, would you like to read or?
Yes, Prabhu, yeah. Can I? I can share because it's a long purport. Dandavat Pranam devotees. Text 9. Kim atmananena jahati yonantaha tataha kim rikyahare swajanakhya dasyubhihi kim jayaya sansruti ahetu bhutaya martyasya gehe kimiha ayusho vyayaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. What is the use of the material body, which automatically leaves its owner at the end of a life? And what is the use of one's family members, who are actually plunderers, taking away money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? She is only the source of increasing material conditions. And what is the use of use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, advises Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. The common man does not appreciate such a statement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he thinks that during his lifetime, his family, society, country, body, and relatives are everything. Why should one give up any one of them and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? But from the behavior of great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaja, we understand that surrendering to the Lord is the right action for an intelligent person. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Vishnu against the will of his father. Similarly, Bali Maharaja took shelter of Vamandev against the will of his spiritual master, Shukracharya, and all the leading demons. People may be surprised that devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaja could take shelter of the side of the enemy, giving up the natural affinity for family, hearth, and home. In this connection, Bali Maharaja explains that the body, which is the center of all material activities, is also a foreign element. Even though we want to keep the body fit and helpful to our activities, the body cannot continue eternally. Although I am the soul, which is eternal, after using the body for some time, I have to accept another body. Tatha dehantara prapti, according to the laws of nature. Unless I render some service with the body for advancement in devotional service. One should not use the body for any other purpose. One must know that if he uses the body for any other purpose, he is simply wasting time. For as soon as the time is ripe, the soul will automatically leave the body. We are very interested in society, friendship, and love. But what are they? Those are the garb of friends and relatives, namely, plunder the hard earned money of the bewildered soul. Everyone is affectionate toward his wife and is attached to her. But what is this wife? The wife is called stri, which means one who expands the material condition. If a person lives without a wife, his material conditions are less extensive. As soon as one marries and is connected with a wife, his material necessities increase. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mitho hridaya granthim de ahu. The ato graha kshetra sutapta vitter janasya moho yam aham mameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5.5.8. Human life is meant for self-realization, not for increasing unwanted things. Actually, a wife increases unwanted things. One's lifetime, one's home, and everything one has, if not properly used in the service of the Lord, are all sources of material conditions of perpetual suffering under the threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidaivika. Unfortunately, there is no institution in human society for education on this subject. People are kept in darkness about the goal of life, and thus there is a continuous struggle for existence. We speak of survival of the fittest, but no one survives, for no one is free under material conditions. Hare Krishna. So I remember Prabhupada said death threat is 100%. Everybody who comes to life is dying. So the survival fittest doesn't mean doesn't mean anything in that sense. And then I'm thinking about Pankajangri Prabhu today and Mayapur, and he really shows by his example that how not having this connection with family is can be used as such a blessing. Those two brothers never married. Prabhupada gave them the order, just go and worship deities, and they made it their life and soul. And they went to Mayapur and they started this worship, and they never ever left. They hardly ever took their feet out of the dham, and such a great example. And here Bali Maharaja is also thinking on the same terms, that all this, mine, mameti, my family, home, country, wife, community, all these attachments, they are merely waste of the valuable energy. And just because we identify with them so much, that connection is just so deep. It's so that attachment, the Maya Pash, they are so difficult to cut. And then they only can bring Yam Pash closer. Although and then there was one more point I'm trying to just remember. Otherwise, everything is simply waste of time. And Pumsa Sriya Mithuni Bhavam, that famous shloka is quoted. The attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. So it just, we cannot avoid it at any cost. Best is to take shelter of Kṛṣṇa and tell him that, Kṛṣṇa, I'm so weak each and every time, and please let me not identify based on the way I'm born. And we also saw the example of Sati. She said, if this body is connected with my father Daksha, then take away this body, because she just wants to be connected to the pure devotee, which is Lord Shiva. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing such nice examples. And ultimately, Bhagavan, Bhakta, and Bhakti, these are the eternal things. Rest, everything is temporary. Sooner or later, it will pass away. No matter how much one has wealth, property, car, gold, wife, husband, children. So, but the attachment is quite deep, which just makes us forgetful of our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord if it is not properly channeled. Well, that does not mean that that everyone has to give up their wife or husband. This is not our Krishna conscious society. All we have to give up. I mean, Bali Maharaj. We're talking about Bali Maharaj. He also had a wife. So out of the 12 Mahajans, 7 of them had wives. So, but the point is that one has to be extra careful. Otherwise, it's easy to be distracted. The attachment is very, very deep-rooted. Any other comments, any additions anyone has?
So, Prabhu, if some attachment is coming while taking initiation, and it's not conducive, that attachment is not conducive to take initiation, what should one do?
It depends on if it is towards a thing, if it's towards a person, if it's towards... Ultimately, all attachments are dangerous. If it's toward, let's say, meat eating or intoxication, then certainly one should kind of wait, because one has to take a vow that I will not eat meat and intoxication, etc. So if one is attached to that, one should wait. If it's more on the mental level, like attachment to money, then one should try to increase one's charity. Then, because that will reduce the attachment to money, or at least use it in the right purpose. If it's attachment to family, then one should try to serve the extended family of Prabhupada. Then one will, or serve with the same family. Then this is not just my wife for my selfish enjoyment. This is Krishna's daughter, Guru Maharaj's daughter, to serve the society, to spread Krishna consciousness. So it is not just my home or my wife for my enjoyment. It is for Krishna's pleasure. Then that will slowly reduce, because the wife will cook for all the devotees who are coming, not just for me. The home will be used for Krishna's devotees, not just for me. That will reduce the attachment for the other side. So it depends on what kind. Of course, we all have attachment to some degree or the other, to something or the other. At least, sorry, I should not say for anyone else, but I can say for myself, there is certainly attachment to. That's why we are here. I mean, that's a pretty simple answer. That's why we are here, because we are attached to the material world and the material things, or the people, or the position, or some object, or energy. So one has to see what that object is, or that person is, or one could be even attached to some bad habit. One could be attached to some bad association. I think it's a quite. You can add, Mataji, and you are, better. Please add.
No, that's a good, perfect answer, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone wants to add or share?
So, Prabhuji, initiation will help us to come over those things that you talked about, except for regulative principles that we should have to maintain to get the initiation. But everything else will help us initiation to cross over.
Yeah. Sincerity and service will help. Initiation is a process. Certainly, it is like a milestone, we can say. It's like an official beginning. Yes, it is helpful. But if one thinks that, okay, after initiation, everything will be very rosy cozy, all the attachments will go away, everything will be, no. I was just hearing today only, sometimes after initiation, 10-15 years, devotees feel that, oh, I know everything. Now no one should tell me what to do, what not to do. Now I am a senior devotee. Now everything I know better than others. Then, as Prahlad Maharaj was mentioning, it's a serious trap. It's a serious trap of Maya, that one has lost one's spiritual enthusiasm. One has lost one's sincerity. One has lost the eagerness to serve Krishna, to chant the holy names. So yeah, it's a fine balance. I think the eagerness, the spiritual qualities will certainly help. There could be someone who is not initiated, but more spiritually advanced than someone who could be initiated for the sake of initiation. Mataji, would you agree with that statement?
Say it one more time, Prabhu.
There could be someone who could be more spiritually advanced, who may not be initiated, than
Yeah.
someone who could be just initiated for the sake of initiation and very callous or not following eagerly the principles, no enthusiasm for bhakti, etc.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, we have to sincerely try, and Krishna will arrange the rest. Initiation will certainly help. The eagerness will help.
Thank you very much. Just thinking about I've been thinking about second initiation, but I don't get enough time to listen to Prabhupada lecture and Guru Maharaj's lecture every day. And I try, and goes up and down. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. This is an important verse. Futility of material affairs. And especially in this day and age, we can see right now, left and right, young and old, poor and rich, all have become one. So many of us know so many of people who are dying, close friends, relatives, etc. So, Kamala Dala Jala Jivana Talamala. Very, very fickle, like a drop of water on this lotus petal. We don't know what's going to come. Today, it may not be, of course, we all have roots to India, Bangladesh, etc. So we can still very well relate, but still there could be a feeling that, oh, it's not in this country, it's not in this, so I'm safe. That's what the Yudhishthira Maharaj said that, right? We see friends dying, relatives dying, uncles dying, aunts dying, but still one thinks, I am safe. It will not happen to me. The biggest ashcharya, the biggest surprise of this world. The people who died in this somewhere 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, different age groups, different socioeconomic backgrounds. No one had ever imagined, ever in the wildest of their dreams, that this would have happened to them. Right? But a sincere person this should only help us to connect deeper to Krishna and understand that, as this verse is telling, in material world, it's all futile. It's all futile. Sooner or later, it will go. The one thing which will not go, Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta, the three bhas. That is the real sambandha. That is the real substance. And if one has that, one will get the mood of Bali Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj. Maro bhi rakho bhi amito tomar. Krishna, you, like how Bhakti Charu Maharaj had that mood, how, of course, Pankajangri Prabhu has that mood. Krishna, if that's the plan for you, so be it. I want to be in Mayapur. He came from Kolkata to Mayapur. Whatever Krishna, Narshing Dev, whatever your plan is. So, these are the living examples, not just in the books of Bhagavatam. These are the real Bhagavatas who are living their life based on these principles. Krishna, not just speaking, not just, they have lived their whole life following these principles. And Krishna, whatever you arrange, I'll happily accept it. Because, what's that verse? Narayana parasarve na kutashanam vividyati swarga pavarga narkeshu apitulyatha darshina. As even His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu was mentioning, Golok Vrindavan is not a physical place. It's a consciousness. It's spiritual. It's transcendental. So pure devotees like these are always in that state of consciousness. So whether here or there, this world or that world, Jivan Mukta Sauchate, they are Jivan Mukta. But we should continue to pray because we want the physical association of these great souls more and more. So we should continue to pray for their good health and for their longevity so they can be in this planet for many, many years and decades so that we can get their association on a Vapu level as well, more and more. A lot of devotees are going through a very tough time. So we should certainly pray for them and for the whole world actually, because everyone is a child of God. Any other closing comments, additions before we end today's? Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrit ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.